Rick Hall with Ovation Guitars. In today's show, we want to talk a little bit about the VXT. This is a guitar that is made right here in the U.S., in New Hartford, Connecticut. And it's something that takes a tremendous amount of craftsmanship. It's something that the skill and the labor that goes into these is really a labor of love. The playability, the way it feels, it's all about what the people put in. We're going to have Frank Untermeyer take you through the factory tour and show you just how well these things are made.
Before we fit the neck to the body, we're going to bind the body, and we use nitrocelluloid binding for the VXT. It's Italian. It actually comes from Italy. It's a binding material. It's grained ivoroid, and that's what Marty's going to do here. Marty's been doing binding for a lot of years. He does a lot of other things here as well, but he gets about the tightest fit that you can imagine. This, again, the kind of thing that you can only get by hand. We use grained Italian celluloid binding for the VXT guitar. Provides for a great transition between the Honduras mahogany back and the spruce top. It's real important to get a very tight fit at the waist and all the curves on the guitar. Marty's been doing this for years and he can do it.
Another thing the binding does too is it protects the wood. Where the wood could dent, where the binding won't dent as easily as the wood. So it's also not only decorative but protective.
When we were trying to figure out how to actually go about binding the VXT, it was kind of cool because we actually thought about making a fixture to automate this process, and Marty said to us, no, let me just do them by hand. I can get them better every time. And so that's what we did. To seat that binding in those tight radiuses takes a lot of skill. Another unique aspect of the VXT is the amount of time that we put into hand sanding and sculpting the bodies. Mike hand sands the side of the guitar so that we can get a good flat surface on which to later apply our finish. How much time do you actually put into this sanding?
Everybody averages out to about 45 minutes to an hour a piece.
And what are you
blocking sides?
What are you looking for when you're blocking the sides?
Well, I want to take any cross-grain scratches out. If there's any imperfections in the wood, I try to make that so it's nice and clear. We get a clean finish and a nice product underneath.
Great.
To come through.
We want the guitar to be as flat of a surface as possible, so then when we build our finish, we're going to have that deep mirror-like finish that we're striving for. We have the contour back, which adds for a lot of comfort and ease of holding the instrument. A lot of people have commented about how great it is to hold a VXT. It fits into the body. This is one of the things that differentiates an Ovation VXT from a lot of other guitars, the amount of handwork that goes into each and every one of them. We apply a traditional woodworking water-based glue to the neck socket. We actually run the bodies and the necks together as a pair. So when they come together here, we're going to see that this particular neck was built for this particular body. Each neck is hand fit and then clamped so it'll stay stable during the drying process. After the neck is fit and clamped, we're going to let it sit for about 24 hours, allowing the glue to harden. Then we're going to go back and we're going to feather in where the body binding meets the fingerboard binding. It's already quite tight, but we want it to be seamless. One of the best things about our guitars is the finishes that we put on them. Gary's going to bring this guitar to life with a beautiful sunburst finish. First he'll lay on some amber over the face of the guitar. The kind of quality that you get out of these bursts, it only comes from years of experience and an eye to detail, and that's what Gary has. Sunbursting isn't really something you can do with robotics. It's something that takes a person who knows what they're looking for. He's got an idea ahead of time, and he'll just work it until he can get it to be that smooth burst that he's after. It takes a few passes to go around to get it there, but once it's done, it just jumps alive. It's been so cool because with this whole VXT project, we've had a lot of guys who've just embraced it, who wanted to make this thing work and to turn these guitars into the best electric guitars that Ovation's ever built. And I think we've done that. Each one of our guitars will look a little bit different. They'll have their own nuances because a human being actually does the spraying. And yeah, we try and get consistency, but I think that's one of the fun things about these guitars is that they all do look a little bit different. And they all have their own personality when you strap them on. You can see it in the finish itself. We're going to have 14 coats of finish on this guitar by the time it's done. What we do is we spray it and then we knock it down, what we call leveling. We flatten it, then we'll spray it again, and then we'll flatten it again. We'll just keep on building it up with real thin layers of finish. With the VXT, we've really aimed for the semi-professional and professional player. We've got a guitar that works, sounds, and looks beautiful. The amount of handwork that goes into an Ovation is phenomenal. Every day, the amount of lutherie that goes into our guitars is unsurpassed in the industry. I think that there's a lot of misconceptions about how much handwork actually goes into an Ovation. And with the VXT especially, we've pulled out all the plugs. Once this finish is done, it just pops. All of our guitars are hand assembled using only top shelf components. And Phil is mounting a Fishman power bridge. Phil's been working on the VXT project from the start. He's done literally every step of the way. We hand wire all of our guitars prior to setup.